Hi stars, this is Luminous Star. Welcome to the channel. Please check the description box below for details to today's video. In the description box below, you will find resources. Those resources may get you started today on thriving forward past narcissistic abuse. Okay, so sometimes we may feel a little invisible in the relationship with our narcissist. Well, I just want to give you a little secret. First of all, they cannot see you. Okay, so this may cause some alienation, feelings of loneliness. Okay, this is something I've experienced before. So sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to stay focused on thriving forward. But just imagine yourself being a person who is thriving forward. Well, some of you are not imagining this, some of you are actually doing it, so congratulations. But some of you are in the relationship right now and you may feel trapped. But I want you to use something called envision, or I want you to use it as a tool. Envision yourself thriving forward, because very often going forward starts in the mind. We have to see it. And I know some of us have heard the saying, if you can see it, you can do it. So when you're in a relationship or you live with your narcissist, okay, this can be very difficult to stay focused. I've also been in situations whereas I was living with the cluster B personality type that I was dealing with. Sometimes you can have a feeling of being in a twilight zone, experiencing parallel realities, because the reality may be different for your narcissist, and often it is. Narcissists are often reenacting a part of their past that is possibly traumatic, maybe not, but it's definitely an unresolved issue for him or her. It could be something that happened in their childhood. It could be something that happened during their adolescence. It could be something that just happened yesterday. It could be something that happened in their early adulthood. But the bottom line is this: a lot of narcissists are notorious for checking out. In other words, they know how to disassociate, and they do it very often. But before they do that, they have to detach from their higher self in order to repeatedly disassociate in a relationship with other people. Okay, so sometimes we may feel like it's just us, but one of the things that I found out from my experience was that narcissists and cluster B personality types often will disassociate during the relationship with other people, just in general. It's not just you. Okay, so I just hope that that is giving you some comfort today. When narcissists and some cluster B personality types start to reenact those unresolved issues, very often they will take us on a journey to their past. Because remember, I just mentioned about, the traumas, the unresolved issues that may be in the guise of something that they haven't resolved yet. It could be anything, okay? But I just want you all to know it doesn't have anything to do with you. But sometimes it may feel like you can't do the right thing. You can't say the right thing. The narcissist, the cluster B personality type, it's like they're just unsatisfied or they're dissatisfied with anything that has to do with you. But this is often why it feels like, or you may feel like it's you. But in general, narcissists and some cluster B personality types are notorious for disassociating repeatedly, because they have first detached from their higher self. So you may feel like you have lost your voice, maybe your identity. You may not feel like you know where you stand with a narcissist and cluster B personality type. Okay, this is something I felt before. It's like I could never do or say anything right, and I really didn't know where I stood with him or her. I just want you all to know this is something that's very common with people who have narcissistic relationships. You may feel like you don't have a voice. You may feel like you don't have an identity because you don't know where you stand with him or her. You don't really know how they see you. Well, newsflash, okay? They don't see you. They don't see other people. Narcissists and cluster B personality types are often too busy reenacting, okay? They're not fully present in the relationship. So this can, again, it could cause that parallel reality feeling, right? And feeling lonely, feeling alienated, feeling lost in the relationship, and at the same time feeling trapped in the relationship, especially if this is a family member, especially if this is a loved one, like your lover or your spouse. Okay, when the relationship is that close, these feelings can come up. So this is why sometimes it's very hard to focus on how to thrive forward, or even to continue to thrive forward, because some of us have already gone no contact. Okay, but again, going no contact starts in the mind, not in the heart. Part of feeling like an invisible person comes when the narcissist or cluster B personality type is projecting onto you. Okay, so what is projection about? This is when he or she will try to sell you their reality. Okay, now remember I was talking about the parallel realities. That means you are experiencing something in the same relationship. Okay, but the narcissist and the cluster B personality type, they're experiencing something else. So it kind of seems like the crazy making is on, you know, the 10th degree, right? Is on another level. But anyway, when they are trying to project something onto you, it deepens that loneliness. And so this can be a scary time, and also can be frustrating. But when they're attempting to sell you their reality, unfortunately, sometimes we will buy into their reality. And this also can cause enmeshment. You don't know where they end and you begin. Okay, it's almost like you're the same person and you don't like that feeling. You know, you lose your sense of identity. So when narcissists and cluster B personality types begin to project their reality onto others, again, sometimes we may buy into that reality. And this is what they hope, because they have false identity, they have false self, right? So what they also do is they will create a false image of you. So not only do they have false self images or false self, they create a false image of you in order to tolerate you enough to get the narcissistic supply from you. So this is also why sometimes we don't really know where we stand with him or her. We really don't know what's going on in the relationship. There's so much crazy making that this can very much feel like, you know, a very lonely experience. Imagine yourself being a big mirror. Okay, whenever you're dealing with your narcissist or cluster B personality type, this is one thing I would challenge you all to do next time. Just imagine being a mirror. So no matter, you know, if they're looking at you close up, backing away, okay, because sometimes they may feel like, you know, they're distant from you in the relationship, because sometimes they may even ghost. Sometimes they may even try to hoover you back in. And it's like you're confused, like, okay, do you want me or do you not want me? Or sometimes he or she, they may be too close for comfort. The enmeshment that I was talking about. And that's, you know, again, you want some elbow room. You want to feel like yourself. But whichever angle they're looking at you or they're dealing with you, I want you to just remember, you can be like that big mirror, right? Because whenever they're dealing with you, they're really looking at themselves. They cannot see you. They cannot see others. Remember, they detach. They disassociate. They're too busy reliving or reenacting whatever they haven't resolved from their past. And again, it can be anything from childhood trauma to a divorce that they had before they met you, if this is a romantic situation, or it could be, if it's a family situation, it could be something that happened in their childhood and they're passing it on to their offspring, okay? Or if this is a sibling that, again, maybe they don't like themselves, anything that they don't like, they project onto you. The bottom line is this: if you just imagine yourself being a big mirror, this is going to help you to not absorb or internalize anything they do and or say that may be unpleasant. Because sometimes narcissists and cluster B personality types, let's just face it, they can be histrionic. Sometimes they may claim a narcissistic injury and they go into the rages. This is very important to remember, that what they're actually doing is they are reenacting something that they haven't resolved. A lot of narcissists and cluster B personality types, they lack the desire to even deeply connect with anyone. So when you imagine yourself being that mirror, so every time they're dealing with you, they're really dealing with what they don't like about themselves, but they project that onto you, and sometimes you may internalize it. So this may feel pretty bad, and I've done this, I've made this mistake. It feels like crap. It sucks. When narcissists and cluster B personality types make other people the personification of what they don't like about themselves, yeah, like I said, it can feel, pretty bad. But when we are so close to him or her, it is very hard to not take things personally. But I'm here to tell you from experience, this is what you have to do, especially when you live with him or her. But you have to use discretion, and you have to use discernment, because some narcissists and cluster B personality types, they are prone to violence. So, be mindful of this. Just use discretion and use some discernment, and just feel your way through that. You don't want to, on one hand, you don't want to walk on eggshells, but on the other, let's just face it, you have to be very careful about how you tread forward, okay? You have to tread lightly sometimes. But if you live with a narcissist or cluster B personality type, yeah, again, just practice safety first above all else. A lot of narcissists and cluster B personality types, they have a hard time with connection, but they also have a hard time with feeling empathy. Sometimes they may sympathize with certain things, but empathy is something you can pretty much guarantee they don't feel. So when you think about how they reenact what they have not resolved from their past, and when you combine it with how they project onto you, everything they don't like about themselves, those deep, dark, dirty secrets that they're so busy trying to hide, okay, all of that has everything to do with what I'm talking about. They can't see you. They're too busy, okay, resolving things, or actually running away from the things that they have not resolved from their past. So they're reenacting what they're denying. It's very, it's very crazy making. So these things are, it seems like it's latched onto them. So they have these false self-images. It's like a defense against the past that they haven't resolved. So on one hand, they're denying what hurts, and on the other, they're reenacting it. So those deep, dark, dirty secrets that they have, very often when they disassociate, when they're checking out, they're reenacting those things. Okay, it's on a subconscious level. The things that they won't allow to surface to the conscious level, this is what they're reenacting. So when they're dealing with you, that's what they see. They don't see you. It's like they see themselves. Remember that mirror I was talking about? It's like you're that big mirror, and this is not your fault. But I hope this is going to help you to not internalize what's going on with your narcissist and cluster B personality type. So whenever they're dealing with you, they're really dealing with their shadow self, the part that they really don't like about themselves, but they're in denial of not liking or even dealing with. So whenever they get to becoming histrionic, when they start, nitpicking, when they start blaming, when they start falsely accusing you of having a character that actually you don't have, but they have, that's what all of this is about. The projection, the reenactment, the disassociation, and all of this is first from them detaching from themselves. Anytime people mirror us, they're showing us what we need to heal. So think of yourself as this person in your narcissist life. Okay, you're that person that actually can support your narcissist in healing what they need to heal, because you show them what they need to heal. But narcissists and a lot of cluster B personality types, they're not ready for that. They don't want to heal. They just, they're turning away from what they need to heal. This is where the reenactment comes in, because they're denying what they need to heal. They're turning away from it. They're under arrested development. So that makes it hard for everyone else in the relationship with him or her, because relationships are about growing together. Okay, so the next time your narcissist or cluster B personality type starts going off, and now of course this is uncomfortable, but remember, you are like that mirror. They cannot see you. they're dealing with what they don't like about themselves. So whenever they say things and do things that are unpleasant, it has nothing to do with you. They can't see you, okay? They can't see anyone else. And they often try to run away from themselves. So this can cause a lot of friction in relationships that they have, which when you think about it, this is often why it ends up just, on surface level or superficial. A lot of their relationships are volatile. Narcissists and cluster personality types, they often make us the personification of what they don't like about themselves. Okay, tool number 1, practice personal boundaries, especially when they are making you making it about you, when they feel pain, when they feel anguish, okay, when they didn't get that promotion on the job, or when they didn't, when they lost some money because they were gambling too much, or whatever they don't like about themselves, whatever they don't like about their lives, when they're making it about you. First of all, this is unfair. But this is when you really have to practice personal boundaries. Sometimes narcissists and cluster personality types, they will put people on a pedestal until they fall from grace, which this is unfair because they often draw up a contract that we don't know about, right? And all of the terms of that contract, unfortunately and unfairly, narcissists and some cluster personality types, they expect us to fulfill those terms for life. Tool number 2, learn how to detach from what doesn't nurture you, okay? The relationship with narcissists and cluster personality types are often very, dysfunctional, volatile. They're very uncomfortable. But sometimes we become accustomed to these relationships. If these relationships don't nourish you, they don't help you to get to the next level, it's time to have maybe some relationship inventory. Start looking at the areas of that relationship that really don't serve you, okay? And then that way you can make a decision about what you want to do in order to thrive forward past narcissistic codependent relationships. Tool number 3, find a constructive outlet in order to express what you think and how you feel about never being seen by your narcissist or cluster personality type. Okay, so this means you're gonna have to, take off the rose-colored glasses, face reality, and realize that more than likely you were never seen. Therefore, narcissists and cluster personality types, they often don't try to get to know us. I know, ouch. This was one that broke my heart years ago, and it took me some time to get past. So I wish everyone the very best on doing this last tool. I mean, I wish you the best anyway, but it's very hard to face that reality. Just knowing that you were never seen, therefore, more than likely, they did not take out any time to really get to know you. But again, narcissists and cluster personality types, they often detach. They take a secret vow never to love anyone anymore for any reason, because first they have detached from themselves. So they're under arrested development. So you can experience a lot of child's play from him or her because they are under arrested development. Their emotional IQ seems to be the level of a child. Okay, so when you think about all of this, and I know some of you probably thinking right now back to those moments where it just seemed like you could never see eye to eye with him or her. You could never seem to make that deep connection, even though you were trying as hard as heck and not seemingly getting anywhere. So this is why, because he or she, they do everything that they can to make sure that the relationship is no longer on a deep, well, they do what they have to do in order to keep the false self-image thriving and surviving. Okay, so the relationship is never really on a very deep level, and at first it may seem like it is, but really, narcissists and cluster personality types, because they lack empathy and because they have a personality disorder, it is very difficult for him or her to emotionally regulate enough to even have a deep relationship with anyone. I certainly hope everyone has enjoyed this video. Please, again, check that description box below, post your comments, and until next time, take care of yourself and stay tuned for more vlogs, stay tuned for more videos. Mwah.